Okay, so I just want to go over firstly the basics of HTML. As I say, I'm using Dreamweaver for this, but you should be able to have, you should have no trouble reproducing what I'm doing in your program of choice. Firstly, I'm just going to go File New, create a new file, and create an HTML document. An HTML document is basically a stock standard website file. And it's called an HTML file simply because when I save the file it gives it this .html extension on the end which tells the computer that it's a website file. Okay, so if you're using Dreamweaver you're going to get a bit of code that's written here for you, a little bit of HTML that's written in there for you. Otherwise you'll just probably, in other programs you'll have a blank page like this to work with. Either or, it's not really going to matter. We're going to talk about this stuff that's been pre-written for us later on. But for now, if you're using Dreamweaver, just put everything that I get you to write inside these two body lines here, where you see body and then /body. If you're using a plain text editor and you just have a blank page like this, that's fine. You can just go ahead and write whatever you like. Okay, so firstly I just want to get you used to the idea of tags. So tags are what we can see here, these things that sit inside our angled brackets. So we've got here a body tag and what we call an opening body tag and a closing body tag, the only difference being the / symbol that you see there. So one tag to open, one tag to close. How does this work? I'll just write some text here. So, alright, so once again in Dreamweaver here I'm getting a preview of what I've written. So this is a basic website. It's showing me a preview down here of the website as I go. If you're using a different program, what you'll need to do is save your file and then open it with your web browser to have a look at what you're doing. So this preview option is quite useful. Okay, so I've got just some text there. This is a basic website. What I'm going to do is put some tags around the outside of this. So we'll get more into what each tag is as we go along. But here I've got an H1 tag, and it opens here. Then we've got some writing. This is a basic website, and it closes over here. So opening heading 1, closing heading 1. And when I preview that now, you can see this text becomes somewhat larger because H1 actually stands for heading 1. We'll do another one here. P is a paragraph tag. So we've got an opening P and a closing P. What sits inside my opening and closing tag? In this case it's just a simple text paragraph as we see here. If I change these to heading 2, so we have an opening and closing heading 2 tag, you can see here it's become somewhat larger, so heading 1 being our largest heading, heading 2 being a secondary heading. This will all become clearer as we move along, but we just need to dive straight in and get you used to the idea of how this works. So I'll change this back to a P tag, paragraph tag. And the other thing I want to do briefly is show you some tags like this one, and there's not many of them that we'll use, but they're certainly around. Are tags that don't have an opening and closing element. So here we have a BR tag, BR standing for line break, and if I click down here for a preview, you can see what's happened is we're saying this is a, go to a new line, paragraph, and you see the result down here. So there's basically two types of tags. There's a tag that acts as a container for information, and a tag that resides by itself. And what I'm doing here is just what we call code indenting, which lets me clearly see how my HTML containers work. So I can quickly see by pushing this line forward, what sits inside my heading 1 tags, all this information, like whatever it would be. Put another line here. Inside my paragraph tag, this is what we've got. So the paragraph contains this information, and the heading contains this information. So you'll see me throughout the series indenting my code like this, and it's a really good practice to get into, to push your lines around so you can clearly understand what's going on as your HTML and CSS gets more complicated. Just while I'm here, another quick thing to note. You'll see here I've written this is a basic website, and then on a new line I've written the word another line. When I go to preview that though, you can see that despite the fact that I've got this writing on 2 different lines, everything here sits on a single line, and obviously that's what the BR tag that we briefly looked at is for. So that actually creates the line that we want. So how you format this HTML as you go along is up to you, which is why we can get away with these indents and things like that without actually affecting the resulting website. Okay.